So what is the difference between a calculated column and a measure? Well, we used calculated columns so far in this module, and as you saw, a calculated column always was an operation we performed, and it generated results for each row of our table. If you think back about the project, you know that each table has a specific amount of rows, which is equal for each of the columns that we have in our project, and the new column also returned results for each of these rows. So we created a new column and a new field you could select in the end from the fields part in the data view. A measure works a bit differently here, because a measure returns a single result of a calculation or an aggregated value, for example, if you want to calculate averages. Now, this will become a bit clearer once we create our own measures, which we'll do in the next minutes, and when we use the measures in the report in the next module. As a short lookout, you could say that a measure is a calculation you cannot immediately see as a new column in the data view. A measure simply returns a new field you can later use in your report when you create the visual. For example, if you want to calculate the measure of the population, for example, of the entire population column, then you could use a calculated column, but then you would get back, well, the same result for each row you have in the table, or you would use a measure instead. Therefore, you wouldn't get back a new column and the result for each of the rows you have, but you could use this measure then in the visual. Now, I know this can be a bit confusing at this stage, therefore let's dive into measures and let's see how these work.